So is it me, or is the fact that we don't get snow days just because we're virtual kind of messed up? Because if you think about it, like, yeah, they're like, oh, you can still attend class, but then they don't consider, oh, I still got to shovel my driveway. I still got to do this. Crazy. Could argue that all day, technically, instead of doing my homework and doing my workout, I'm technically doing deadlifts and curls all day long because I'm lifting the crazy snow. And if you're from the East Coast, you know, and especially if you live on a main road, because that's where I live, that all the snowplows, they keep covering and putting an extra layer of, like, literally frozen snow because the salt melts the snow on the street. And that makes literally every single shovel like 45 pounds. You're deadlifting 45 pounds. Every single time you have to lift the shovel, and it's crazy, you know, and you're just tired at the end of the day. You don't want to do anything, and then the next day you're like, oh my gosh, I need to catch up. Okay, so the next day, it's the two thoughts run through my head. One is the side of me that's like, Gabe, you have all these things to do. Boom, 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 listing it all out. And another side of me that's like, Gabe, you've been under a lot of stress. Why don't you give yourself a break? Just watch anime for the rest of the day. Now, both of these are very enticing, but when I think of that, the second part of my mind, like, that's when I trigger, like, no, Gabe, stop. You gotta do something immediately. And the biggest thing is that I learned that you gotta tackle on the thing that's gonna give you the most satisfaction doing and the most satisfaction post. So for me, that's working out, and today I'm hitting legs, which is usually the most exhausting day. But like I told you guys earlier, that legs is my favorite day because it allows me to get the stress out, get the anxiety out, and just put all the emotion into the workout. Also, pre-workout does help a bit, but I'm not a caffeine addict, but anyway. Please don't think I'm crazy when I say, like, no, you shouldn't relax, you shouldn't do anything. But for me, like, a day of rest, like, I like to say that today is going to be a day of rest. Meaning that I'm not going to do the things that I don't really care about, but I'm going to do the things that I do care about and I know will help me and align with my goals. You see, you know, especially being, like, biomedical engineering, meaning that you get exposed to various different, like, parts of the field of biomedical engineering, whether that's tissue engineering, whether that's sports biomechanics, and I'm really just interested in sports biomechanics. So, like, there's been many topics in school where I just generally just didn't care much about because I just wasn't as interested and it didn't really align with what I wanted to do as a career. So on these days of rest, like, that's the day where I just, like, shove all that stuff away and mainly focus on what's going to align with my goals. Like, right now, I'm currently studying for a certification for strength and conditioning because that aligns with my goals, and I generally just love learning about it and implementing it into my own training and, who knows, eventually personal training. So start that day, have that day of rest to just focus on the things that you love learning, you love doing, because that's what's gonna keep you going. That's gonna make you the most satisfied. Because I feel like, for me, like, anxiety starts because I'm not doing the things that I love to do. I like to do. You know, I'm doing the things that, you know, I'm just like, oh, I just gotta do it. But, you know, I feel like just doing the things you love on that day of rest is the perfect way to win the day. Gabe, I don't have time. And, you know, I used to say that, and I said this one time to my friend who's on the USA sled hockey team, and I was like, how do you do this? Like, how do you make time to balance your schoolwork and still, like, practice all day and, you know, work towards, you know, your passion, which is, you know, the sport? And he said that was BS, saying that you don't have time. He said, if you were to take out your phone and look at how many hours, how many minutes, all the time that you're on your phone, on social media, on games, apps, like, that's a time that you say you don't have time for. One thing that I started to do is, I was like, okay, you know, let me start eliminating the stuff that's not gonna help me get satisfied, not gonna work me towards those goals. And, you know, when you start to eliminate that, especially every single day of the week, staying consistent, like, you end up realizing, like, whoa, I have all this time. If I were to use it productively towards my goals, like, I'd be happier, and that's what I'm starting to do. And yes, it's easier said than done, and I'm not going to say that I'm not on TikTok like at least 30 to 40 minutes a day, but all I'm saying is that you got to start learning to what is not going to make me satisfied and what am I doing, and make sure you're saying, like, hey, you know what, this isn't working towards my goals, let me skedaddle it and let's work on what's going to make me happy. So if you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and again, if, you know, on the day of rest, start doing the things that you love, push away the things that you don't, and throughout the week, start eliminating the things that don't really align with your goals, or the things you have to do, you know. And also, lastly, just make sure you're focused on winning the day, okay? Stay geared to success, and I'll see you in the next one. It is snowing, and it's time to do some deadlifts and curls for Narnia!